Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Marion County Children's Services Podcast. My name is Elizabeth Moore. I'm the Foster Care and Community Engagement Coordinator. And here with me today, I have a very special guest from our Marion Public Library. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I am Diane Watson. I am the Communications Director here at the Marion Public Library. And as you can imagine, a Communications Director does a lot of things of engaging the community, much like you do at your job.
Yeah. So, and that has been a very interesting job to have in the past year, hasn't it?
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
No kidding.
And you know, in conversation earlier, we talked about you got to just roll with the punches. And I really do believe that this year has taught us a lot of that stuff, that you have to roll with the punches and feel good about what you're doing.
Yes.
Because otherwise you just can't get down. You have to feel good about what you're doing.
Offering ourselves a lot of grace, for sure.
Exactly.
So you've already kind of talked a little bit about your role. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add to that, how you're out in the community and do things?
Well, on a normal year, we love to get out and be involved in the community activities, you know, like the summer in the park and then the activities that you have at the schools. We do Let's Read 20 literacy nights because we want to connect with the parents and the kids and make it known that Marion Public Library is here to serve you, because your tax dollars are paying for us to be here. For every book that you see behind me, they're paying for every book for every child. So we are constantly putting it out there for the youngest ones, age 0, because we want people to start reading to their kids at age 0, all the way up to the homebound deliveries when we were able to do it on a normal time. We know that the connecting with the library is very important in so many people's lives. So that's, whenever we get a chance, that's what we try to do.
Awesome. Fantastic. So how can people get involved? That might be a pretty loaded question.
It is. We have a lot of different things in our library that are connected to, and I think I'll just go over some of the programs. That's how you can connect.
Yeah, that could just bring us right into, we can wrap all of that together, how you can get involved in what you guys do in the community.
Right. I think the big thing is use your library, because that's what we're here for. I have a couple of different things I wanted to highlight on today, and one of them was my first library card. This is for age 0 to 5, and I got a little sample here. I'll let you see it real close. And this is for those little kids that are 0. When your child is born, you can bring them in and get a library card. And then it gives them the opportunity to get into the habit. And of course, parents have to be a part of this too. Get into the habit to come to the library and pick out the books that they want on a regular basis. And isn't that a great thing to do, is start them very young so that they know the library is that resource where they're going to go. They're going to find books that they like to read. They're going to find books that they need to read as they get into school and they're trying to look for reports and stuff. But it all starts at age 0. So you got to be doing that. So this one is for 0 to 5. And of course, it is available at the library if you want to come in and get it. We are giving them out now. And then the other one is for the older people from age 5 all the way up to 105, you know, and even beyond. If you want to start at 105 and get your library card, this one is for you. And of course, the collections, it opens it up to everything that we have available in the library is open to you. And then, you know, and then this last year, we've really learned a lot about what we have online, meaning digital, that is available. If you can't read the words and the large print isn't big enough for you, then listen to books, and you can access that with your library card. Through the apps and stuff, some of that, or you have the DVDs, not DVDs, CDs, that you can listen to a book on the DVDs as well. So it gives you access to a lot of different things. So go to marionlibrary.org /card, and you can find the application. When you fill out the application, you have to bring it in, because what we do is we put it into our system, and then we'll take a picture of you so that we know when you come to check things out, it's you that's using it and not somebody else using your card. So there's a little bit of safety things going on there, but
I have a quick question for you.
sure.
Because I don't know that everybody knows this. How much is it to join the library?
It is free,
Yes.
free. Your card is free, and just imagine how much you get for that card. Even if you go to our website and just sort of look through our website, I think you would be amazed at the information you're going to find under the tab that is resource information. I was doing a program yesterday on that, and I came up with just a short list of 17 little databases that you could go to, whether it is encyclopedias, whether it is self-help, whether it is looking for how to do a hobby or how to fix your car. Who could imagine? So first step, I guess, would be to go to the website marionlibrary.org to see what Marion Public Library can do. Even if you don't have a card, I would suggest you do that. But then get a card, and you really have access to a lot of other things that are available, including the collections of books and audio and magazines and digital magazines that you can get on the apps, and in some cases videos. So I wanted to also, one of the big things that we did, even though COVID was at our back door, is the Imagination Library, and we're still getting the word out about that. In the beginning, actually it was the end of 2019, the governor's office, Fran DeWine, and the governor were making it their goal that they wanted a partner in every community, every county in the state of Ohio for the Ohio Governor's Imagination Library. And we were working behind the scenes saying, yes, we should do this because we're the library in Marion County. And so about April of 2020, and we know that everybody knows what was going on at that time.
Or what wasn't going on at that time.
We were supposed to have Fran DeWine here to announce that Marion Public Library was your local partner. And unfortunately, it was the same week that everything was starting to
right.
Their goal, like I said, was by the end of 2020, have every county have a partner, and they did achieve that. Marion Public Library is your Marion County partner. So if you go to marionlibrary.org and /imagination library, you can sign up your child age 0 through 5 for a book a month to be sent to them through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. I would say years ago, we looked into this as the library, and it was pretty expensive. So we were really excited when the state says, we're going to come up with half the funding, and you have to come up with the other half, which really makes it more feasible for the counties to do. So that's what we were doing. We were the partner that has to come up with the other half. So if you got somebody out there that really wants to give to it, go to that same link. But the bottom line is, children from birth through age 5 or to age 5, it doesn't go through age 5, will get a book a month mailed to their mailbox. Now, I've seen that they come in the cellophane. You don't get a box or anything that you have to open. You see the book in your mailbox, and it's got the kid's name on it. So, and it's age appropriate. So, a great thing. And of course, what's going to happen when a child gets that book? They're going to go to mommy or daddy or caregiver and say, read to me. And that is exactly what we want to do. We want kids to be read to, because that literacy foundation is really the focus of what the Marion Public Library is about. We want a very literate community, and I think that everyone knows that once you start that foundation, then it really grows and builds as they get into the school age and through school and graduate on time and graduate with great grades and all of that good stuff. So bottom line, go register your child, age 0 through age 5. Some of the other things we do, along with another literacy program, is you might be familiar with that. That's the initiative where you want everyone to read 20 minutes every day. And really, it goes back to Imagination Library and learning and building that foundation. 20 minutes is a great rule to start at age 0 because it does give you that one-on-one time with a child, which is really good in building relationships, and also that foundation of literacy where their cognitive learning is happening. And like I said earlier, just builds that foundation of literacy. So we'd love to see that happening. On a regular basis, on a normal basis, we have story times and music times here at the library at the end of 2020, or in 2020, we were doing videos of that. So one of the new things that we learned through all of this is let's do a YouTube channel. So I would suggest that if you can't make it to the library, go to our YouTube channel and find some of our story times and music times and view them. We are still on a, I would say, regular or irregular basis, trying to get as many of them up on our YouTube channel, just to keep them fresh and to keep them, seasonal. But we are doing that, and that is something that is exciting to see when we get photos of parents letting their kids watch that, because it's like being at a story time, but not at a story time. And we cannot wait until the day that we can get back to normal, or some sense of normal, that we can have those kids and people come in for programs. We are open here at the library. It is at your comfort level. But everybody has to wear a mask over their nose and their mouth and come in and browse and get their items and leave. We don't have any tables for people to sit at, but we do have it where you can come in and you can take your time and browse. So we are open. Like I said earlier, we are here because your tax dollars are paying for us to be here, and every book that is in this building to be here. So take advantage of that. And then we are already starting to look at programs and what that looks like, probably more toward fall, but we have to. We want to get back to that where we have hundreds of people come to a program, especially, a couple of years ago, we had over 100 kids that came to our summer reading club zoo program. What a wonderful thing. So we're working on planning some things for summer reading club, whether that is a make and take or an exploration box, or, of course, the reading logs that go along with that as well. So that sort of gives you a rundown of some of the things that are, we're really excited about, and are some of the meat and potatoes of what the library does, even though we are here for every age group. There are people that are the older group that we are starting to do the planning for the ALL program, which is Adult Lifelong Learning. We had started that in spring and had a couple of the classes, and then had to cancel everything. So know that the older generation out there needs to have that connection and needs to have those programs. And so we're planning for age 0 all the way up to, like I said earlier, over 100 years old, because connecting and being engaged is part of our focus of lifelong learning.
Great. That's great.
Yeah.
Anything else you need to add?
Pardon?
Do you have anything else to add?
I would just say go to our website, marionlibrary.org, and just sort of check it out. And if you don't have a library card, don't be afraid to come in and get it.
Yeah.
There are people that come in every day and sign up for a library card. It doesn't matter the age, but it is so very important to start it really young because kids love that. They love to be able to come in and pick out their books and walk around with their cards. So, and then get your kids signed up for the Imagination Library. It's just something that is really neat about getting a book in the mail and being able to ask somebody to read it to me. So we love it.
It creates excitement around learning too.
It does.
That's awesome.
And it builds their home library as well. So it's like, for 1 year, you're going to get 12 books for, I think what we figured is from age 0 to age 5, because when they turn 5, they'll get their last book, which is Ready for Kindergarten. The very first one they get is The Little Engine That Could, but that gives you 60 books in your library that you can start collecting. So.
Wow, that's phenomenal when you think about it that way.
Yeah, it is.
Great. Well, have you, on my podcast, always ask an unscripted question, one that I haven't prepared you for. So I've been thinking about what is the perfect question for you. And I would love to know, because you clearly have a lot of excitement and passion and love for the library. And so what I do is I ask you the question, I'll give you a minute to think about it while I talk to everybody, and then I'll come back to you to answer that. So I would love to know, what was it that got you interested in wanting to be at the library and to make this your role and what you do? So while she's thinking about her answer to that question, I just really want to encourage any parent who's watching, any parent, that this is something that you can take advantage of. It's free. I have great memories of going to the library as a child with my family. All of us would go and we'd all pick out our books and we, have a great time. This was something that my parents instilled in me at a very young age. And it's something that still sticks with me today. I probably couldn't tell you any single book that I read, but I can tell you that I connected a love from my family with the library. So that's really exciting. And I really do hope that any parent who's listening thinks about that and the value that you can give to lifelong learning in your kids now. So Diane, did you have enough time to think of your answer for the question?
I think so. I knew that I wanted to come to the library. I was at a job that was promoting other entities, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and it was promoting Marion as a whole. And when this came up, I'm like, I just love the idea of being able to promote the library to all of those people out there that may not know much about it. And there were just so many things, like the kids coming getting books and the programs and just all of the things about the library that needed for people to tell the story. And I thought, well, I can tell that story. Tell that story. I loved the library when I was a kid. I loved bringing my kids to the library because it was like, my son was more of a focus of engineering and type of stuff, and he's an engineer nowadays. And my daughter was more of a, let's say, just a regular reader of the regular books. Not that she didn't read the nonfiction, but it was good to see that they knew what they wanted in the library. And I just loved that in my kids. And I knew that when this opportunity came up, I just had to do it. So
that's awesome. Well, and like really just kind of touched on, there's something for everyone at the library. There are cookbooks. I was surprised to find music books. Like, I'm not a very good piano player. I tinker just a little bit, but and then of course, all of the fiction and nonfiction and resources online.
And we haven't even touched on, the book sale that we have going on right now.
Yeah.
our bookmarks normally do a big book sale in April, and it's like, what, 5 days, 4 days, and you have to come in, you have to rush, and you have to be with crowds and pick out all your books and everything. And of course you couldn't do that in April when we really wanted to do it. We were like, how can we do this safely? We couldn't. So what happened is the Marion community continued to give us donations like they normally do, and we were at a point where we filled 2 pods for storage out in our parking lot, and we're like, we got to go to a 3rd pod. And we're like, wait a minute, we aren't having meetings, we aren't having gatherings, and we aren't having programs, so what are we doing with all this space over here? And we're like, yeah, we should just do it on a regular basis, which really was the perfect storm. Even though we didn't want to do this because of COVID, it was the perfect storm because you had the space, you had the time, that not everybody had to rush in all at once. And so we are, we've gotten rid of 1 pod. We are like, I want to say, somebody told me the other day that we're about 3/4 of the way through the 2nd pod. All right. And it's been going on for months, and we will go on probably for a couple of more months, just because there's that stuff that we're pulling out of the pod that was put in there randomly. It's coming out randomly as well. And it is those things like kids' books that you were talking about. The new, here's another selection of 4 or 5 boxes that we can put out. Cookbooks, fiction, nonfiction, music. We found music the other day. Oh. So it's just random. So if you are looking for a good deal on a book, even though the library gives you a great deal because it's free, if you're looking for, adding to your library at home, come in and look at them. Even if you want to stand there for, a few minutes, look through a few of them just to see if you want to read them. But it's reasonably priced. I don't have the prices in front of me, or I'd give you that. But it's like cookbooks and fiction and nonfiction and paperbacks and trade and biographies and videos and music and music sheets, music, paper music. So everything. And if you want to see more of that or get more details, you can go to our website for that too. marionlibrary.org and then /book sale. But like I said, we're going to be here a few more months. We're open the hours of the library, and we close a half hour before the library closes. Sale specifically closes a half hour before the library closes. Awesome. Lots of stuff.
For sure. Well, I really appreciate your time, and I'm thankful for all of the great information that you shared about the library.
Well, I appreciate you asking me to do this. I wouldn't have thought of it, and I think it's something that you're doing too for your patrons.
Well, and I do need to just commend the library. I've been thinking about, I put on here to talk about things that you guys did differently because of COVID, and you've touched on a lot of that. I just have loved seeing how active you guys are. Even when the shutdown, you guys were still trying to do everything you could to serve the community. So thank you.
We were actually one of few libraries that kept open, meaning that you still had access to books. Now, there were a few weeks, maybe a month, that it was just curbside, and you could order online or you could call. And then we were like, people are going to retail places, they're going to grocery stores, and we aren't going to let them come in and sit, and just veg, but, because we took all the tables away. But your comfort level really is what we were worried about. And of course we were offering a space that you could come in and pick out books and stuff. And then, so it was difficult because, then the governor did the threat levels and we were trying to abide by those, and it became a yo-yo. And
well, you guys have done wonderful. You really have.
Thank you.
Well, that's all that I have for today. If you guys have any questions about the library, I'll have all of their information linked in the description. And as always, if you have any ideas for future episodes, please contact me and let me know. I'll have my information down below. And have a great week. Thanks for watching.